All right, today it's a little bit sunny and a little bit overcast. So it's a good day to put the first coat of primer on the hull. These came and told people to leave. Oh yeah, no, the police are going that way too. This is like every boat owner's worst nightmare, is seeing that cloud of smoke coming from their shipyard. That's so scary. I think their main concern is probably like if the road gets closed and everyone gets trapped back here.
I feel like our faces are gonna be so green.
we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Welcome to Kermit the Frog.
Hi-ho, Kermit the Frog here.
Do we explain why everything is green right now?
Yeah, so we finished glassing and priming the Dodger, which means we're getting really close to being able to finish fairing and priming the whole boat. In order to prep for that, we built another tenty tarpy thing over top of the whole boat. We found a much more durable, thicker tarp, and I think we did a pretty good job building a structure over top of it.
Yeah.
Yesterday was blowing 35 knots and it held up, so that's a good sign. We've got a lot of like fairing, priming, sanding, fairing, priming, sanding, fairing, priming, sanding to do. And since it's springtime, the weather's very unpredictable. And
So we built this.
we either get like hot sunny days, which are like too hot to do the work outside, or we get like windy days, or we get rainy days. And so this way we'll be able to like keep pushing and get it done.
Yeah.
And be a little bit less weather dependent.
Yeah. We made the templates for the windows and we send it to the guys who are going to be building the custom windows for us. But in the meantime, we still have a lot of work to do to make everything smooth and prepped until those windows come back.
It's very pink and green.
It is so pink and green
Very
here.
pink and
Should we
green.
just like paint it pink? Should we paint the whole boat pink? It's crazy the difference when, when you start building a template of something, knowing the vision we had in our brains for what she was gonna look like in the end. From the beginning, we could already see that she looked amazing.
Yeah.
But for you guys, I'm pretty sure, because you don't know what the end result is just yet.
Unless you paused on the rendering that we made, which looks exactly like the final
Yeah,
Dodger.
very close to it. But but this is so cool to see this come to life, and it looks more and more to what we're envisioning, which is awesome.
I'm excited to sand this thing down and put another coat on and then prime it again, and then it'll look much better.
It's so windy. The past couple of days windy, and it's also very rainy at times. So
I'm glad we have this whole tarp. I hope it holds up better than it did last time.
yeah,
I think we need to like reattach it up there already.
cool.
It's janky. We'll get it done. Let's get to sanding.
Let's get to sanding.
All right, so this is the first coat of primer that we're doing on the hull, where the texture is actually going to matter because we need to eventually make it shiny and pretty. So we've got 4 different rollers. These are the ones that are like available locally, and we're going to do like a little test to see which one puts the primer on the best to avoid sanding a ton of it back off again. If we can get a nice smooth finish, that means we can sand less. Inside the boat, it wasn't as much of an issue because the inside of the hull was so rough, and that primer is going to be like in the back of all the cabinets, so we could just roll it on real thick. But now we actually kind of have to start carrying. So mixed up the first batch. Also hot glued our roller trays to some wood because it's very windy outside and we're learning from our mistakes.
Oh,
And yeah, we'll do like a quick test, see which one of these we like, and then go from there.
What are the 4 rollers? What are the 4 rollers?
I don't know. This one's white and fluffy. That one's blue and fluffy. These 2 are foam rollers. One's black and one's white. I don't really even know the difference. They're all technically rated for chemical because we've been using them for vinyl ester. But these foam ones theoretically put on a nicer finish, but inside the texture was so rough that we were destroying them. So maybe on the hull it'll be better because we're working on a convex surface instead of a concave surface. We got the blue one, we've got the orange one, we got a white foam, and we got a black foam. Oh. And it's windy.
So?
I can't tell any difference at all. None of them are orange peely. They all held about the same amount of liquid. I know I'm putting it on rough plywood, so it's gonna soak up and not make much difference anyway, but they all look exactly the same. So we'll let that dry and go with the black ones for now. All right, today it's a little bit sunny and a little bit overcast, but it's not going to rain, so it's a good day to put the first coat of primer on the hull. It's going to be a multi-step process. We have to put the first coat on and then see where all the dimples and cracks and any damage and things we need to fair, and then fair it, and then sand it, and then fair it, and then sand it, and then prime it, and then prime it. Lots of steps, but first we need to borrow our neighbor's scaffold and mask it off, clean it, and then we'll put the first coat on and see how it looks. The dimples that were here, which was sort of like the root cause of this whole refit, are basically gone. These dimples you guys started to notice a few years ago. They've been there ever since we got the boat, but they've progressively got bigger throughout the years. They were where our rig came down, and like the two lowers were here and here, and they were on what's called a knee, which is like a triangular piece that connects the deck and the hull. And what's happening is when the rig was tensioned, it was pulling up on that knee, and the base of it where it was attached to the hull was starting to delaminate and pull off and like pull the hull in. It's a known issue with these boats. The sister ship to these, which is the Pearson 10 meter, got recalled for that exact reason, and all of them were fixed. But the Pearson 36s with the exact same design didn't get recalled for some reason, and it is a known issue with these boats. And it happened to us. And so we never really could tension our rig fully, and there was nothing structural there holding them together, and the longer we sailed, the worse it got. Once we slacked the rig and like eased the hull, they sort of settled. Once we took out all the bulkheads and let the hull settle, they settled even more. And then we glassed in all the ribs, and we glassed in all the stringers, and we glassed in extra layers of glass on the whole inside of the hull, and then put all the bulkheads in. And it's basically pushed those dimples back out until we can barely see them. We knew that problem needed to be fixed, which is why we started this whole rebuild. And now we're finally like coming full circle and basically fairing off the outside and finishing it up. So those dimples will be completely gone forever. Our neighbors just launched this big giant ferry that's been here for the whole year working with us on this back corner of the yard. But since they're not going to be here for a few weeks, we get to borrow their scaffold. We don't need it to be that tall, but we will shorten it so we can work our way around our boat and paint it.
All right, rock climber. Yeah.
It's been years since I've gone up a scaffold.
Was like a little bit on the sketchy side.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Everything was just wobbling, but we got it done. The first thing we're gonna do is going to be taking off the wind vane.
The Cape Horn.
The Cape Horn. Because it's gonna be in the way. And we're gonna need to remove it anyway, so might as well do that now. And then we'll get to priming the hull. you can see what I'm doing.
So somewhere right about here, I can still feel just like a very, very slight indent, which is right where that dimple used to be, was like here. But that's hull, and now that's bulkhead. We basically put a bulkhead right down through the middle of where that dimple was, and then glassed the absolute shit out of it. And then also right at the bottom of where that knee was, where the dimple was pulling in, is where the stringer goes along, just above our water line. So basically in that weakest point where the knee was pulling in and causing a dimple, we've got the stringer running this way and a bulkhead running that way. So it's, and the same is on the forward ones as well. So they're super reinforced from the inside. So all we really need to do is put some primer on the hull and then fill in all the little divots and voids and try to smooth it out best we can, but we don't need to do any glass work out here because it's fine.
Nice.
Yeah.
Feels the other one.
It's not gonna tip over, right, while I'm climbing up?
No.
All right, well, first coat is done, and Uma looks exactly the same as she did this morning. Maybe a little cleaner, a little whiter. We're gonna let that dry, and then maybe we'll add a second coat today, but it's really windy and it's not the warmest, which is good, but also it means that it might not dry as fast as we would hope for today. So we'll have a second coat of primer today or tomorrow, and then we'll start fairing, and then the hull's gonna be ready for the smooth and final finish. She does look good. She looks good. She looks exactly the same, but she looks good.
All right, the first coat of primer has had time to dry, and yesterday we did a quick scuff sand of it just to get it down to something smooth, and we're pretty impressed with the shape of the hull, honestly. There's a little bit of like gel coat cracking and stuff in some places, but the primer did a pretty good job like soaking in and sealing those cracks. But today we're gonna track down the remainder of whatever's left of the dimples and fair those, and then put a second coat of primer over everything and see what's left after that, if we need to do any more fairing or not. But I've got my trusty dusty stick, and somewhere the main bulkheads. Here? Is that right? So we're gonna have, this is where the other dimple was. We already faired the damaged section there. So there's gonna be one somewhere here. But honestly, like, it's really difficult to even see them. So I got my curvy stick. See if I can find it. Yeah, there it is. Barely. I think it's here. It's about all that's left. It was about there somewhere, but it's not even dented in by a millimeter.
It's quite impressive, actually.
Almost nothing left of it. Yeah, the whole hull. I've checked the rest of the hull already. It's actually really good. There's hardly any gaps that I could find. Yeah, it's there, but it's barely there. It's mostly up here, actually. I can't even feel it. I can only see it because of the stick. Probably if it was dark and we had a big flashlight, we'd be able to see it even better, but it's hard on a curved hull. The light trick doesn't work very well. That's like 2 sheets of paper. To here. Well, the hull is in better condition actually than we were expecting it to be. So I'm just gonna fare the leftover depressions from where the dimples used to be today. And then we're gonna do a second coat of primer over top of everything and see how much the second coat covers up any of the remaining little bits and pieces that are left over. And then we'll do like a final fairing, final sand, third coat of final primer, and we'll be done. But yeah, we're gonna start by fairing the dimples today. All right, first coat is on. Definitely gonna have to do a second coat over top of where the dimples are. It's just sort of like a base coat to build up. So not everything is faired, but everything that's gonna need 2 coats is faired. And then some other little things that we found along the way. So tomorrow we'll be able to sand that, put a second coat on, and then continue on the journey. Hello.
Ciao. On the other side. So what do you want to do?
Police came and told people to leave.
Are they saying that because people need to drive through, or are they saying that because...
Probably because they're doing the emergency evacuation thing because they're trying to make sure people are fine. Oh yeah, no, the police are going that way too.
Oh, they're evacuating this entire area then.
Yeah. This whole side of the yard is getting evacuated, so we should probably follow suit, which means the rest of this boat repair is going to have to wait for another day. Hopefully that doesn't get any closer to our boat because that would suck. This is like every boat owner's worst nightmare, is seeing that cloud of smoke coming from their shipyard. Luckily, it's not our shipyard, but it's 2 or 3 shipyards over. It's been billowing black smoke for over an hour now. We've got like chunks of ash, like charred stuff falling on us. I guess trying to put it out, we heard the fire trucks and the helicopters come by, but yeah, it's super scary. I'm gonna make a very uneducated speculation that something caught fire inside one of those warehouses, because there's not many boats on the Heart over there. They're all in these big like winter storage warehouses. So if I had to wager a guess, something inside that warehouse caught on fire and everything in that warehouse started to burn. Fiberglass has a very distinct smell when it burns. It's kind of like this weird charry, plasticky, diesel-y sort of smell. And that's what we've been smelling for the last hour, almost hour and a half now.
Crazy.
Man.
So we're going to leave, and man, I hope that this fire doesn't come through here, because that's the scary part, you know, because one hot ash can land on one boat and another fire starts here and then we lose our boat. But we're going to be doing what we can, and we're going to take our electronics and our laptop and our camera gear and our footage with us, and hopefully,
The most valuable thing we own is
yeah,
right now.
at least we have this that we can share. So we'll evacuate, and hopefully tomorrow everything is normal. So we'll see. Damn, it's pretty bad. And like, it's crazy, sometimes you hear this giant like explosion. Yeah, you can hear it. Oof. Okay, let's go. Leave with only the essentials. Damn, that's insane. Worse than before.
But work's paused for today. I think their main concern, well, it's been burning for 2 hours and they haven't put it out yet. So I think their main concern is probably like hot ashes or something falling, or if the road gets closed and everyone gets trapped back here. I don't think our boat's actually in any danger, but everyone at the yard is leaving. Everyone at all of these yards are leaving because there's only one way out, and while the road's still open, I think they want us to all leave. So fingers crossed that they can contain it, because if it spreads, that would suck. Look at that. Well, I guess this is why they wanted us to evacuate, because there's the fire. It's a shipbuilder that's on fire, and all of the smoke is blowing directly over our boat, which is like right down here somewhere. So I don't think there's anything in that smoke that's bringing enough heat to make any kind of issue at our yard, but I guess they just wanted everybody out from that side of the street because it's a one-way out. Here comes a helicopter. Well, that fire started today just before 3 o'clock. It's now 8 o'clock, so it's been burning for over 5 hours. The fires, wait, where are we? Fire's burning there. Uma's like about here somewhere. So the smoke is still blowing directly overhead. So came to the other side of the harbor. We're gonna have dinner in the back of the truck tonight because we can't cook in our container. We're gonna shower in the ocean tonight because we can't shower at the yard. According to the news, nobody was hurt, which is good. It's surprisingly hard to put out chemical fires. There's a bunch of boats in there. It was a whole like indoor storage facility for power boats, and they're all on fire. So diesel and propane and petrol, and then just fiberglass itself, which is plastic. So it's pretty toxic cloud of smoke. I'm glad we're not still at Uma underneath it. It's way easier to breathe over here. It's really unfortunate that that many boats were lost, but it looks like they're starting to get better control over it. They started to bring water trucks in, and the smoke is definitely more white and gray and less black, which means it's got more water in it, I think. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. What do you
Yeah,
think?
it's intense. Well, because if you think about it, it's a shipyard, right? So there's gallons of fuel in there, and there's probably propane tanks and all these things that can resin and all these things that are flammable and all these things that can explode. And so it's a big box of everything that basically burns. You can have a glimpse of what's happening inside in some of the news videos, and everything is just red. Like the entire shipyard is gone. Imagine you're one of the owners of these boats, and then you hear that your boat is completely gone.
I just hope they all have insurance.
Yeah, the yard probably has insurance.
I hope so.
But yeah, it's amazing that everybody got out before the fire got too big, and nobody got hurt, and everybody's at the scene trying to figure it out.
Are you excited to go take a shower in the ocean tonight?
No. Yeah, because we shower at the yard, but we had to evacuate, so we're still pretty messy. So we don't have a choice.
It's gonna be cold.
It's gonna be so cold. I'm not looking forward to it.
Quite a day. I'm hungry. Tonight for dinner is a little tasty treat I call Chef Boyardee.